Hello and welcome.
As always, welcome back, everybody.
I'm KJ and this is Swiley, and you're listening to UnMaddening, where we unpack the madness of society one challenging word at a time.
It is a challenge. It always is a challenge.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I make it such a challenge for you. Okay, the word of the day is endgame.
It's not challenge.
No, that's for another day.
For another episode.
It's endgame, which means the final stage of a game such as chess or bridge when few pieces or cards remain, and it can go any way. Oh my goodness. Urban Dictionary endgame is a relationship that appears to be unstoppable. They just met, but their endgame, they'll get married one day. That's what the Urban thinks about the terminology. It also says that it could mean the ultimate agenda or desired consequence of a planned series of events, often elaborate and unknown to outsiders. Certainly not. Endgame in the business world, it's ideally a business strategy for the purpose of market domination. In movies, it's often nefarious and the secret objective of a supervillain. The example underneath that definition of endgame on the Urban Dictionary is Google's endgame is to develop super machine intelligence and take over the world. Yeah, didn't write it.
You didn't write it?
No.
No.
Current news surrounding the term, the word endgame. So I got a few emails this week from Citizen Go. I'm not sure if you've heard of them before, but they have a lot of petitions and things about what's going on in the world and how you can throw your voice in the ring to say, no, I don't agree with this, and I would like to say no, thank you. We have some...
You mean there's a group that has free speech?
Well, they're petitions. Okay. So it's the age-old tradition of writing a petition and saying, I don't agree with this. And they often send emails out that will let you know about a particular cause that they are plugging, let's say. And one of the ones that I received was some endgame news regarding the UK Prime Minister Starmer and our Prime Minister Anthony Albanese.
Oh, good old Albo.
Yes.
Gotta love Albo.
The title of this particular petition / email, whatever, was Digital ID UK shows the endgame. All right, so that's how we got there. The content of the email or even the petition write-up, which you can look up yourself, just you Googleize it, quite unpleasant, but not particularly surprising. So it's, talking about digital ID. And the first line of said content is no digital ID, no job. And quoting from this, we've got British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced plans at the Global Progress Action Summit. Those are some good words. We should tackle those ones later. The Global Progress Action Summit. Sounds like a task force, yes?
Global and summit, and it equals red flag.
A little bit. Anyway, the British PM announced plans at the Global Progress Action Summit to make digital identity mandatory for the right to work in the UK. Oof. No ID, no job. I'm still continuing to read directly from this document.
I think we've been here before with the, if you want to work, this is mandatory.
Yeah, well, yes. No ID, no job. Employers must check your government-approved digital identity before hiring. One profile for everything, work, tax, banking, healthcare, linked to the same ID. An opt-out becomes impossible. Your daily life depends on passing a digital checkpoint. Albanese being there in London for that particular announcement is quite funny. Yes, it's not an accident that he was there. That's like his playbook that he's looking at, like, oh, that's
there,
awesome.
As you say,
how do we do it
for the end game?
Yeah.
I think I see where this is going here.
So we know we've got the voluntary digital ID coming our way here in Oz, and sort of the rollout of to access certain platforms, etc. You must upload age verification, age confirmation, etc. things.
Is it really, like you say, the voluntary digital ID, is it really voluntary? Or have we trained people to be reliant on social media for such a long time that, you know, the hand's forced where you're going to, you know, concede to, oh, well, I'm going to do it.
Yes, well, the concession is not a new vibe either. We've seen this not that long ago, Spars.
100%. Yeah, like I was saying right from the very start. Yes.
I hope that we all, as a people, don't have such short memories that we can't see where this is going.
Well, that was our training day, wasn't it? Where we, you know, we'll just test this and we'll all learn how to comply.
Yeah, it starts as this delicious opt-in of, oh, if you would like to, you can opt in, and then becomes access only via compliance, right? Very familiar. Albo there probably rubbing his hands together, excitedly waiting to make similar announcements himself with what we've got upcoming here in this country and what we know he's keen on pushing. We've already got digital driver's licenses in SA, New South Wales, Queensland and Victoria. You can have a digital one instead of actually having a physical card. So all of your information is stored in this delicious little digital platform. So if you get infiltrated, they've got all of it. It's a bit problematic. Yes, age confirmation has been talked about basically all year for the digital identity factors and the various other Ministry of Truth policies.
The Ministry of Truth, yeah, I love it.
The voluntary services, we know they very quickly become mandatory.
Yeah.
Because most people will say, well, look, I still really want to access this. So, okay, I'll jump through your hoop. And the next minute it's like, oh, well, you straight up can't have access to anything unless you have done that.
Like
they've just done this in the UK.
Without using the key words here that will get this taken off YouTube instantly. We've seen this sort of coercion happen previously before, you know, where you need this and it's like, well, you know, what other options do I have? I will comply.
Would you like to work?
Because of the fact that, you know, it's, you know, you made that choice. Yeah, well, did I really make the choice or was there no other option left for me?
It's always under duress.
It's always under duress. And that wouldn't hold up in court because it's under duress. So,
yes.
you know.
I just feel like we should be making...
been there, done that. Let's open our eyes and move forward.
So let's make a bigger noise about it to actually refuse that we want to comply with such a thing. And another one this week, a big week for Citizen Go. There was another one that I noticed, which was this time from a fella called Sebastian Lukomsky, who was breaking down the delightful WHO pandemic treaty. It's been recolorized and rebranded with the same endgame that it's always had. Quote from this particular article/petition. It says, control your country's health decisions and biological resources, funnel billions of your tax money with no oversight, strip away your freedom under so-called global emergencies. End quote. They're working to push this at the World Health Summit in Berlin, which is happening, what's the date today? It's the 11th today, October 12 to 14. So these particular points here regarding controlling your country's health decisions and biological resources, they're about to be in discussions at this WHO pandemic treaty.
Did we all get the invite? Or?
No.
No, okay.
No.
I was looking through the mail. I couldn't find it. So.
Yes. Well, if you haven't heard of any of these things and you think, I'm pretty not cool with that happening, because they do affect you, we all know that WHO is not just dealing with its own area. It's an international conglomerate of sadness, which has little fingers spilling into all of our lives.
It's a company that's only invested in their own interest.
If you don't like it, jump on the old Googleizer and find Citizen Go, and you can sign and say, I'm not into it. If you are into it, that's fine. That's your right. You enjoy that. You you enjoy the pandemic treaty petition, because it's written by an Australian person about what's going on there. They've addressed it to the Australian ambassador in the UN in Geneva. And then the digital ID petition was being addressed to the marginal Labor members of Parliament. So they specify who they're actually trying to address with these. But they're wanting to target the people that can enact change should they listen to the voices of the people. So it's really encouraging, even if you don't agree with these particular things or you're happy for them to go ahead, whatever. It's nice to see that the people are putting this effort into actually targeting someone that can have an influence and an impact on it, rather than just jumping on social media and typing in something about, I'm mad that this is happening. Like, it's cool that they're actually taking the time to
I think
do
you
this.
addressed like a key word there is should they listen to the voice of the people?
Mm-hmm.
But one voice doesn't make a lot of sound, but multiple voices. Like if you're sitting in the background going, I don't agree with that, but I'm just going to stay humble and comply with it. Maybe it's time to make a voice, and this does give you the platform to do that.
Yeah, it does, which is great. Anyway, it's just something to be aware of. We can't take these concepts at face value. I certainly don't, and you don't either. And truly, you don't even have to scratch the surface of what their key points are, of what they're trying to achieve, what their end game is of these policies, and you can see the hidden end game very easily.
And I think when you go back through it, all these little things, there is an end game here, and the end game is control. Mm-hmm. And there's a degradation of your own values and your own, what you will accept and what you won't accept, and forced compliance. Or let's not say forced compliance. Let's just say significant coercion.
Yep.
To comply with their unreasonable expectations. I believe they're unreasonable.
Yeah. I think they're quite unreasonable.
You call it what you want to call it, but there's expectations, and you will comply with them with sufficient coercion. And there is an end game.
Well, if we're talking about deprivation of liberty, if you don't comply, it is absolutely coercion. There's 100%. No other way to put it. But if you ask the internet, as I do, hey Google, etc. I don't actually have hey Google, just to clarify. I just use this as a term of me asking the internet for what their perspective is. And I did ask, what is the end game of the World Health Organization? It's to achieve the highest possible level of health for all people, which includes the elimination of communicable diseases, the promotion of general well-being, and ensuring universal access to quality healthcare services. This is reflected in its constitutional aim to direct and coordinate international health work and its ongoing efforts to strengthen global health security and address health crises. Is that what you've been getting from?
Yeah, just even in that statement, I just don't agree that that's even a possible thing. For starters, a virus mutates.
They're doing
that's
it for you,
how
Swirls.
viruses work with all their medical knowledge, maybe get that one right. And you're not in charge.
Just to touch on one other little end game that we were talking about last night, the old CCTV scenario that's being busted out. In Victoria, we've got the old, look, our town's really safe, even though it's rife with crime and has been for a long time because they've intentionally allowed such things to occur.
Yeah, narratives change. We'll just highlight this because this is what our end game is.
It was so funny to watch the fella, I've forgotten his name, I'm so sorry, the bloke that was saying, oh, it's safe here, but it could be safer. So here's 100 new cameras that all do face verification and voice verification and what is it, biometric facial recognition software. And
the guy
half
selling
of them
the
were
narrative.
privately owned.
The guy selling the narrative is his name.
Oh, the Fall Guy.
Yeah, the Fall Guy.
The Fall Guy. That's who that was. And what are they doing with the info? They're just using it to keep you safe. Interesting. Nothing to see here.
It's a complete invasion of privacy.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a definite lot.
Another Hey Google. What are endgame political quotes? Political quotes about an endgame often discuss political strategy, societal collapse, or the ultimate goals of a political system, with examples including Vernon Coleman's cynical view that, quote, the aim of practical politics is to keep the populace alarmed. and Gore Vidal's dismissal of elections, stating, "It makes no difference who you vote for. The two parties are really one party." Oh, haven't we seen something like that in recent
I
times?
think we have heard that before. Yeah.
Everybody's sort of centre left / centre right,
It's very
rather than either one way or yes.
Fence sitters.
Yeah. Also, famous quotes about the Endgame from the Hey Google. We've got something like from a play called Endgame, which I hadn't heard of, but the quote is interesting. "Finished, it's finished, nearly finished, and everyone fails at who they are supposed to be, highlighting themes of cyclical existence and meaninglessness. But then you get famous quotes from Marvel's Avengers Endgame,
That's all I was thinking the whole way through.
such as Tony Stark's, "Part of the journey is the end." Very true.
Yeah.
I mean, there is an end.
Doesn't matter if the end looks good or not.
No, well, where
As we
you're
know
going at
from
the end is
No
rather
spoilers,
important.
but
And what else we got? Quotes from chess theory, like, "After a bad opening, there is hope for the middle game. After a bad middle game, there is hope for the end game." Yes, some perspectives on strategy and the arrival of a critical moment of truth. At
I
which
think
point
that's
you
the key
will
word
decide,
here, is
have,
you've
have
got to
lost and I
remember-
admit it, or maybe there's still hope.
maybe there's still hope. But, it's looking grim at this point in time. But you've got to understand that there's, like we've discussed, there's political endgame at play here. It's not always just an A to B thing. They're not thinking, "Oh, well, I'm going to do my term. After 3 years, who cares what happens?" They're thinking, "I'm going to do the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to be the longest serving political person." I'm going to say prime minister.
Sure.
But, or president or whatever it is, but they have a goal in play here. They're not looking in the short-term thing.
Yeah.
And we're being sufficiently taught or coerced into accepting a narrative. So this narrative, whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. It will change every day. You're like, one day it will be true,
Yeah.
and then next day it will be misinformation.
That's okay, because the Ministry of Truth will edit everything they've written
right,
previously.
that's
they
right.
will change what they said before and say, "Oh, no, that's not how it was
That's
intended."
why.
Or
That's
just
why we've got
completely
the new
delete
Karen on
things.
board. Not that we elected her, but she's here to make sure that we don't.
Oh, yes.
We don't do anything that could be
No
misinformation today and correct tomorrow. We'll just fix that. We'll just adjust it as necessary.
Put you back in your box if you go, "Hang on, didn't I see this with my own eyes yesterday?" Oh, no. No.
What was that awesome video I was looking at yesterday with the elbow one? I don't know.
Bloke that does the parody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
can't
was
think of
very
his name.
funny. I can't think of the name, but it
He's
was
pretty
absolutely
funny.
hilarious.
The fella on X that
With a bunch of
wears
14-year-old
the Akuba
specialists, 14-year-old TikTok specialists that are, making sure that we know what is misinformation and what isn't. It's great.
We do have one more important endgame, Swells. It was written about in the Holy Bible, so I think we can, believe
I think
that
that's
one
the
to
one
be,
that we need to
be
lean on
what
the
it is.
most here.
Yes, we're talking about the second coming of Christ, the Antichrist rise, the tribulation, and the ultimate establishment of God's kingdom on earth. Kind of important, if you ask me.
That's where I was going to lean on with the whole WHO thing, and they're going to eliminate disease and eliminate this. Consequences of sin is death. You can't eliminate that. You're not in charge, and I think that's what the most important thing that we need to remember.
Yeah. Well, this particular end game is to mark God's final victory over evil and the eternal salvation and fulfillment for believers. There's some cool passages in Matthew 24. Verse 13 says, "But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." And verse 14, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come." And then a little bit further on in that same chapter of Matthew 24, verse 36 says, "But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only." So we don't know what's going on. We definitely need to be looking around and seeing some of these end games that others have in place, and
100%.
remembering that is the ultimate end game, right? That is an end game that will happen and cannot be stopped.
Yeah.
So these other ones, yeah, they're problematic, and we should definitely use our voices to say, no, we don't agree with this. We don't want to be coerced. We don't want to just comply. We don't want to be bullied and badgered and manipulated into doing things we simply do not agree with. But the end game is still going to be the end game.
Yeah.
Right.
We got to look to where
I've read the end of the book, okay?
God
wins.
We have to remember where our truth lies. Where's the truth? The truth is the word. And that's where we need to remember that's the truth and not accept our truth from the mainstream media.
My truth.
Yeah, because that truth changes day to day, hour by hour. I mean, how many times have we looked at something that's been placed online as this is the truth, and then the next thing they've started deleting it or it's no longer available?
Well, their information changed, so they had to change the recommendations.
Let's open our eyes and hold to the truth, the real truth.
Absolutely. Yeah. For vintage culture appreciation, it's not particularly vintage, to be quite honest, because our word of the day is Endgame, so it had to be, a little bit of reference
vintage
to.
either.
I had to reference Avengers because of their final film there, Avengers Endgame.
When did Avengers start? Do you know when Avengers started?
The first one was in 2012 from my looking it up, and definitely makes it not vintage yet. And the last one was 2019, so it's only been 6 years.
I'm sure the comics happened well before that. But
sure, but I'm not sure that those ones were actually written in the way that they were then put to be in a script and actually brought to the big screen. So,
but we're talking about the movies, just the movies here.
Yeah.
2012.
But I did check when if we look at the way that the stories were written, like the first Captain America movie, because he's from the past, right? Mm-hmm. That was set in 1942. So I've classified it as being vintage enough to discuss today. Yep. Because the first Captain America movie was set in that year.
Vintage.
It wasn't made in that year at all, but it was set in that year. So we're passing it. Avengers Endgame on Urban Dictionary says the one movie that single-handedly destroyed everyone's ability to feel things. Person 1, did you see Endgame? Person 2, yeah, man, I literally can't feel anything now. It was pretty epic. Another one on Urban Dictionary for Endgame was Endgame Effect, which says when a large line forms outside a movie theatre bathroom after a long and intriguing movie. Yeah, makes sense. We enjoyed the franchise. And the finale, it was a bit of an emotional roller coaster. And you lost some big players, but it's nice. There's teamwork. They're working against darkness, and there's a final victory with some sacrifices made, and poor old Iron Man. Anyway, there's stories, of course, and the truth is we are not in a story, right? It's nice to watch these stories, but this is real life. This is our reality, and we definitely need to be channeling our inner heroes and arming ourselves in all the armor of God to stand up for what we believe in. And it's a bit scary sometimes. But yeah. Thanks for listening. We will catch you next time with another word. Until then, God bless and peace out.
This content is for informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional advice. When not heroes, villains, pastors or politicians, you are not more likely to suck less or try harder having listened to these shenanigans.